You sure you want to bring this up?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of days now, but things have died down.
Has it? The internet was really angry.
Yeah, but once they find out a bit more about it, I'm sure they'll be soothed. That's what the news is for.
All right, on your head be it.
Okay. Yes, earlier in the week it was announced, sadly and regrettably, that there was nearly a fifth McMahon on WWE programming.
Oh, right, okay.
What did you think I meant?
Something else. It's fine.
Okay. Hello, I'm Adam from the news. You know it's the news because I'm wearing a shirt. This is Phil from the news.
Hi.
The man whose face was recently Kevin Owens'd by the back of a taxi in Newcastle. Show the nice people the damage.
There it is.
Oh,
nice.
You look no worse than normal.
Yeah,
What's your favourite McMahon, Phil?
My favourite McMahon is Vince McMahon, obviously.
Really?
Why wouldn't it be?
Why? What a
Vince
basic
McMahon.
answer. My favourite McMahon is Littlest McMahon of the Shanes, the one who had the freshest kicks at WrestleMania. He's the best McMahon.
Of course.
However, according to Court Bauer, we're going with Bauer for that? Bauer. According to Court Bauer, former WWE writer, very nearly on WWE programming, we could have had Vince, Linda, Shane, Stephanie, and Roderick McMahon, the fifth long-lost brother of Vincent K. Kennedy McWrestleman.
Yes. Exciting news.
It
could have been something wonderful, I'm sure.
Have you heard the full story about this? What they were going to do?
Yes. It was during the McMahon death angle.
Yes, after Vinnie Mac blew himself up in the limo, which for reasons we'll get into later was canned by WWE, the plan was to then introduce Vincent's long-lost, chirpy, jovial, anti-Vince brother, Roderick.
Yeah.
Who's actually, who was going to be played by?
His actual brother.
His actual brother, Roderick McMahon, who I have spent the morning looking for information on.
I was just doing the exact same
Doesn't
thing.
exist according to him.
Very difficult. No pictures, no info.
Did you do the thing where you look for the McMahon family pictures on Google and Vince's, I think it's either his uncle or his dad, the photo was just a pair of legs? There's all these like nice press shots of like Vince and Shane.
I did not see that.
Well, actually, when you put Vince into Google, it pulls through from Wikipedia a bit of information about him, and instead of pulling the headshot, the face picture, it pulls a photo of him that's been taken from the crowd by a fan with his pants around his ankles and Hornswoggle looking like this at his bum.
Nice.
That's that man's legacy. If he cans it this week, that's the photo that'll go with him. But yes.
The only thing I found out about Roderick is that he works in the steel industry. Maybe? Possibly.
Roderick McMahon. Do you think Roderick Strong was some kind of like
rods.
rod making? Oh god. Oh, we'll put that photo of Time Person of the Year, the uranium rod. Yes, quotes from Bauer, who was one of the. He joined in 1999, became one of the chief writers. I always think what could have been because we were gearing to do something with Vince's little brother Roderick. His family was going to come in the following week and be part of the funeral for Vince McMahon, and I was always pushing that I would love to get another side of the McMahon family involved in WWE. I think it would have been fascinating because people forget that Vince has a brother, and I think that story would have been amazing. Would that story have been amazing?
It would have been new, it would have been different.
Would any of us, wrestling fans or otherwise, have benefited in any way from another McMahon on screen?
Probably not. It would have turned into a match at WrestleMania as well.
What,
Roderick versus Vince?
Well, no, because if they'd done that, they would have had to have gone through the whole Vince is actually dead thing.
Yeah, but
so it would have been the reanimated zombie Vince McMahon versus chirpy, really happy Roderick McMahon. I'd have watched that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes on to say, how Vince the tycoon he is, the ruthlessly aggressive guy, you know, took over the family business. His poor brother, what happened to him? And now there's a refresh on the McMahon dynasty and all of the rivalries and stuff you could tell now. All of these new stories that are there because Roderick has children that you could play with in this setting. That's an unfortunate choice of words at the end there. And
it really is.
I've not made a mistake reading that out. That's apparently how he talks. Now, people say the McMahons get too much screen time.
Yeah.
Does that count when it's another McMahon?
It'd be a new McMahon.
A new McMahon.
Fresh face.
I'm actually amazed.
I'm
actually amazed they've never brought in like a full-time new McMahon. Because when did we get like Shane was like late 90s. Steph first came in with that Undertaker kidnap thing.
Yeah.
I think she was on TV a bit, but like, that was her first proper thing. So that was like what, the 90s?
Yeah, that was a long time.
We've not had a new McMahon for 17 years.
Yep. It's going to be a while too. Wait till the little kids are growing up and then we'll get some fresh ones.
Do you reckon they'll ever get? I mean, I know they came out of the ring with Shane, but surely
they'll be in it eventually.
You've got to remember that the reason Shane and Stephanie are in WWE, right, was because their dad's mad. And he thought, oh, you know what'd be brilliant? I'll do
If I get to
storylines.
beat up my children.
Yeah,
live on
I'll do
television.
matches with my son and my daughter. You mean the guy wanted to do an incest storyline with him and Steph?
Yeah.
He's not quite.
Strangled her with a steel pipe at one point.
Yeah, so I think maybe Steph and Shane, bizarrely, improbably, might be better adjusted than that.
Maybe.
And so we'll try and steer their children a little bit further away from that.
industry that is wrestling.
Do you know what my favourite part of this whole story is? It reminds me of the limo exploding thing.
Yeah.
And do you know what my
This
favourite
was
part of that
beautiful.
story is? After Vince was seen exploding on WWE, he got a phone call from his good friend Donald Trump asking if he was okay because he'd seen him die on television. Now,
That's quite one.
like, not that I want to stoke the comments further, but if I'd seen one of my sort of business associates blown up and believed it was real, I don't think a phone call's going to help.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you got blown up on your
And
boat.
he just doesn't answer and he's like, it's real.
So, oh, he's not picking up. Oh, I wonder what's going on. If you ever get
What a
blown up
guy.
on your boat, Phil, I will
Yeah,
not
not
call
gonna
you to
call
see if
me.
you're okay, because it will do
That's
nothing.
sad.
Yeah, that's the news.
Fun.
It is fun. We could have nearly had another McMahon, and now I kind of want to see another
Yeah.
McMahon. But a really crazy one that couldn't possibly
More
be a McMahon.
crazy.
Actually, I'm saying this. Like, we've just had Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son.
Yeah.
Like, surely the bounds of
We almost
what
had
makes it...
Hornswoggle as Vince's son. That was almost a new McMahon.
We did. We did.
Yeah.
We did have Hornswoggle as Vince's son.
Yeah.
That pretty much undoes everything I've said.
Yeah.
Except he wasn't really his son, was he?
No.
That was supposed to be Kennedy.
well.
Actually, apparently that's what this was supposed to lead to. The whole
Really?
death thing, it was going to be a struggle over who was going to inherit the McMahon dynasty, then it would have been revealed that Kennedy was his illegitimate son. But instead, Benoit did redacted,
thing.
and they had to scrap the whole thing, including poor Roderick. You see?
It's a shame.
It's a shame. You never realise
He lives on
the
in
untold human
obscurity.
cost of the Benoit tragedy. Roderick Strong.
Is it?
Thank you for joining us for the news. This has been Phil. I've been Adam. Bye.